Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Mias and welcome to the OCG Metagame Breakdown number 9. And I swear to God, they are always super entertaining, so much fun every single time I read them. It's always something new and, well, actually, it's either very old, but I don't know, it's hard to explain, okay? But don't worry, this is also going to shock you, as always, but you're actually going to know the reason for that later on. And by the way, huge shoutouts to this guy, Akira. I don't know if it's a guy, maybe, I don't know. But he always writes those really interesting articles on Road of the King, by the way, so huge shoutouts to them. Beautiful, beautiful articles, really well written, the English is perfect. They're really giving you that perfect insight, so thank you so much, Road of the King. Anyways, let's get into it. So, the best deck at the moment, and by the way, this time we're actually covering Japan, if I recall correctly. Yes, exactly. But also mainland China and Taiwan. Okay, interesting. But this is probably going to be more Japan. No, actually, yeah, we're kind of seeing a mix of everything. Whoops, I spoiled it. Anyways, the best deck apparently is Zodiac. That's crazy. So it's always in between first and second deck, and then there's always Eldritch. And then the best deck is usually either Virtual World or sometimes Drytron, but not often. And in China, I'm pretty sure it's in China, but nobody's playing Drytron, or the other way around. And when Drytron is really good, nobody's playing Virtual World, but when Virtual World is really good, nobody's playing Drytron. And that's actually that's kind of you can actually explain this by the fact that people are playing different hand traps for different situations. So whenever a deck is really good, people obviously know what to expect, so they can prepare for it. But yeah, and then we have Drytron second place, Virtual World third place. They are the big two combo decks, and it's crazy because in the TCG, I want to say Virtual World would be number 1, then Drytron would be number 2, and then number 3 would be Eldritch featuring or not featuring Zodiac cards, and then there's kind of just everything else. Everything else is just, it's too far away from the top 3 decks. That's why, you know, people are kind of like, oh my god, it's always the exact same decks. You can't really blame Konami for wanting to push Drytron because it is significantly newer than Virtual World, sorry. Virtual World, I guess they're kind of boring because of VFD is just way too good. And Zodiac, I mean, Zeus is unfair, so you kind of see where, at least as an engine, it's a problem. It's really good as an engine. As a pure deck, people haven't complained about pure Zodiac in the TCG, but in the OCG it's always doing like much better than the hybrid versions. But anyways, we also have Shaddoll, beautiful deck. I'm really happy it's getting more tops because I personally think it's in the top 5 decks, and I'm glad that the OCG has realized it. So 2 lawn mowing Shaddolls, 1 pure Shaddoll, 1 Dragma Shaddoll, 1 invoked, and 1 lawn mowing invoked. Interesting. I mean, that's okay. 3 out of the 6 are playing lawn mowing. I mean, again, the card is a 2 in the OCG. People obviously won't be playing left arm offering. That card just isn't really good in the deck, especially since you can't set the turn you use it, and if you get ashed, you lose. But no, I mean, this is interesting. Okay, but I still can't really see this card being a problem for the TCG. I mean, yeah, people complain a lot, but it's not that bad, honestly. But still, anyways, I mean, I guess I'm kind of biased because I played the deck Infernoid Zodiac, 60 cards, so. Anyways, 5 Adamantia, so Blood Dragon is still banned. Needle Fiber is banned in the OCG, so this deck's even worse in the OCG if I recall correctly. This is shocking. Wait, is Blood Dragon banned? Oh my god, is it? Oh, it might not be banned. I think only Needle Fiber is banned. I think Block Dragon is actually still a thing. I should actually do my homework before making these kind of videos, oopsies. Anyways, 5 Eldritch, 3 of them are pure, and then 1 Dragma. Oh, okay, that's with Nadir and blah, because even pure Eldritch still plays the Dragma Punishment, but yeah. And then Lawn Mowing Zombie, okay, sure. Tri Brigade now, whoa, consistently getting good representation. Interesting, so 2 Zodiac Tri-Brigade, I don't like that one. I think it's actually one of the worst ones. Just play pure Zodiac, it's better. Tri-Brigade, sure, that's pure, wow. Ancient Warriors Tri-Brigade, that's really good, by the way. I'm gonna make an Ancient Warriors video really soon. And then Lyrilusk Ancient Warrior Tri-Brigade, so same thing, but with Lyrilusk cards as well. I actually haven't looked up too much about the Lyrilusk cards, so definitely something that could actually be potentially really interesting. Anyways, now we have Endymion, which is usually only doing well in China, but not really in Japan. Phantom Knight, let's go. 3 Phantom Knights pure, and then 1, again, Jesus. Lawn Mowing, Amazement, Light Sworn, Phantom... Yeah, this is one big-ass name for a deck. Yeah. Anyways, then we have Ignister. Ooh, that's the last deck that actually had 4 representations. Interesting, it actually surpassed Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid was steadily keeping its position as the 3rd best... No, not 3rd best deck, no. 4th or 5th best deck. It was definitely in the top 5. You can... I don't think people are going to argue too much that it was a tier 1 deck for the longest time. But it's still really impressive to see this deck doing anything. And then Orchest, with all... Orchest is literally at full power in the OCG. Like, they don't have cards, like, banned. They have them all limited, but it's fine. Because Orchest Harp Horror at 1 or 3 doesn't change that much, but from 0 to 1 changes the entire world. It's kind of like having Kirin from 0 to 1. You didn't gain 1 Kirin, you gained 4. That's what you gotta know. And also, if Electrum is a thing, then half of your deck, literally, if anything, more than that, gets you to Kirin. So yeah, sure, it's a one-of, but when you're seeing the card like 90% of your games, it doesn't really feel like a one-of anymore. So that's the thing with Harp Horror, is that 1 Harp Horror is kind of all you need. 1 Galatea, okay, I agree that that one actually hurts a little bit more, but I mean, still, they have freaking Mech Knight Orchest Girsu. That replaces the need for pretty much kind of, I don't know, yeah, it's nasty. Anyways, Prank Kids, yeah, just getting worse and worse and worse. 3 representation for Prank Kids, but freaking 14 for Zodiac. That's like 5 times more almost, so... Yeah, if I were you, honestly, I would kind of stay away from this deck until Zeus gets banned, because as long as Zodiac is at full power, it is just objectively better than Prank Kids. Spirals is unplayable in the TCG, so don't try to think about it. Thunder Dragon is also unplayable, and by unplayable, I don't mean you can't have fun at your locals or maybe even regionals, but don't bring these decks to a YCS and expect to do well, because they are significantly better in the OCG and they're doing way worse. So if they're extremely crippled in the TCG, don't go thinking that they will do well, because it's not like they had great matchups and they have serious inconsistency issues, because even with triple Super Bolts, Thunder Dragon was still a breaky deck. The only reason why it was doing well is because even if you just went 1 Super Bolt pass, some decks genuinely panicked against it, but now we kind of got to a point where even Super Bolt can go back to 1 and people honestly just wouldn't give a shit. Yeah, anyways, 2 Brandish, again, they have 2 Engage, so that's nasty. 2 Zephyra, okay, and then, okay, these are just the one-of decks. It's not that they suck, but, because they honestly get consistent representation, I'm gonna give you that, but when they do get the representation, it's also consistently low, so that's kind of the thing. Altergeist is just one of the worst trap decks now. Eldritch is just, again, so much better. Even Shaddoll, if you're playing trap cards, is just way better. And then, oh wow, for the most part, people just aren't playing trap decks at all. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting, sorry. I mean, Sky Striker is basically a trap deck, but featuring green cards that can be used on your turn, if you can understand what I'm trying to say. And then there's also Code Talker, but Ignister is just better, so if you want to play a Cybers deck, Ignister is probably your best call. Better than Salamangreat, better than Code Talker, at least from the raw results, but, you know, there's always a place for debate. And then Dragma Invoke, it's not ideal anymore. Dragma Traptrix, I want to say, is the incorrect version of the Traptrix deck. Gizmek, okay, that's Grand Maju. Yeah, I mean, if you're a really good player, this deck is better, honestly. It's like, yeah, sure, it's only getting 1 representation in the OCG, but if you're an insanely skillful player, it's on par with these kind of decks, you know? Not necessarily with a Drytron Virtual World, but maybe with, like, all of these. So, yeah. And then there's also Magician. Again, Endymion is actually just doing way better than Magician. Really interesting. That's cool. Anyways, Zodiac. Alright, this is gonna be fun. So, can you actually guess the new staple hand trap that people are playing? Well, it's not in the main deck, but it's actually in the side deck, as you can see. It is Retaliating Sea, my friend. And there are quite a lot of reasons why Retaliating Sea is insane. Have you actually read Herald of Ultimateness? It doesn't say you can discard 1 fairy monster to negate something. It says you can send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. And what does Retaliating Sea does? When your opponent activates a spell to special summon a monster, yeah, let that sink in your head, special summon it, and then you apply a Macrocosmos effect on the field for both players, and This is actually crazy because Herald will not be able to negate anything whatsoever. All of their materials get banished, so their Drytrons are not floating. And also, you can not just use this against the ritual spell, Drytron Meteornus or whatever, but also Nova, the normal spell card that summons from the deck, which is searchable by Fafnir, which is searchable by Terraforming. So, 7 copies of a card that special summons from the deck, and the the ritual spell card that you're always going to search, that just instantly lose really hard to Retaliating Sea. And then from there, you can't just do it, you can't do anything at all. Like, all you have is Vanity's Ruler, because Herald is not enough. You need a Herald of Orange Light to counter this. That's it. Or you would have to, I don't know, make Cerberus on your first turn, but you would have to waste so many resources. You're probably going like neck 4, honestly, or neck 5 even, just going that Cerberus, because again, your 2 materials gets banished, which is the end of the world. The card that you discard from your hand has no added value, it gets banished, and also you're running around from your actual real combo, so you're not doing what your deck should actually be doing. So maybe you won't have the materials to summon a Herald, so you're actually, yeah, it's just gonna be really bad. You're running out of cards in your hand. Your Herald, maybe instead of negating 5 cards, will negate 2 max. I don't know, but this card's really good against Drytron. If I were you, I would definitely buy 3 copies of this card max rarity ASAP, because it will seriously raise in price, especially since Virtual World, they are probably going to die off, with VFD probably getting banned. Like I said, 90% chance of VFD getting banned, 9% chance of it staying at 3, and 1% chance of it going to 1 only. So that's, I want to say, is probably one of the most logical things I could actually predict with VFD. But yeah, this deck is insane. This card is insane against the deck, and apart from that, for the main deck, there's nothing that really catches my attention outside of the fact that he's actually playing more Zodiac monsters than the average. He's playing 11, most people play 10. I like the fact that, again, he's playing Bunny Blast, triple Ram, triple, okay, well, interesting, and he's main decking that Prankertops, double Nibiru, double Skullmeister, triple Maxi, triple Ash, double Ghost Bell, and 1 random Infinite, which is weird because he's not playing Crossout Designator. So random one-ofs, they just look kind of sketch. So I don't know. Triple Desires, double, yeah, I mean, by the way, is playing 3 Tenki logical anymore? Or maybe 2 is better? Because the thing is, all the Zodiacs, they honestly kind of just end up doing the same. You can argue Ram is the better one, because when you have it as a material, you can protect yourself from Compulse, Imperm, Punishment, all of that, because it does give a really good effect to your Xyz monsters by allowing you to negate a trap card that targets it, so that's actually really nice. Whiptail, honestly, is not that great anymore, because Zeus just replaces the need to use Whiptail. Thorblade is always going to be a 3 of, regardless of what people think, because it trades in your extra Zodiacs for a draw, and then you just go Tigress to get the materials that you needed anyways. Bunny Blast is good, so, well, negating spell cards that target your monsters doesn't really matter, but it recycles back the resources from your graveyard to your hand, so that's cool. And yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Zodiac is just that really solid deck. By the way, Utopic Future and Utopic Future Dragon, nasty cards, really, really good. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to show for the Zodiac deck. And then Drytron, oh no, sorry, there was actually one final thing. Retaliating Sea is also played against Virtual World. I just don't think it's optimal because you can negate Kowloon, since for some stupid reason, Kowloon also has a really sketchy effect where you can summon up to 4 Virtual World monsters from your extra deck if you have like freaking 4 gates or some bullshit, but it's obviously never gonna come up. It's actually funny how these 2 effects of Kowloon made it worse, how you can send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard or something, and how you can special summon because it makes you lose to Retaliating Sea and Ash. If all it said was activate a Virtual World card from your field, it would actually be a better card, because it would be hand trappable. I don't know, it's crazy, man. And I guess against, against Shadol, Retaliating Sea is disgusting, and against Prankids, it's game over, because the Prankids have to be sent to the graveyard. Retaliating Sea, my friends, buy this card now. Anyways, Drytron, people have actually been cutting Crossout Designator because people are just no longer playing the same hand traps. There's just kind of no consensus as this guy is actually saying. That's why I said, by the way, beautiful article. And yeah, I mean, Vanity's Ruler just doesn't really seem to be in everyone's deck list, so playing 2 Ava, triple Diviner of the Heralds actually makes so much sense. Of course, it would make no sense to play Cyber Petite Angel because this is just the best replacement. It's objectively better since it searches you for pretty much anything you need. You can send Herald of the Arclight or even Elder Entity Entis, so you have a bit more flexibility. And by the way, this is actually really smart of playing the Instant Fusion for Millennium Eyes Restrict. Even though you are sacrificing 1 extra deck spot, it is nice because it's, like, at worst, it's a level 1 that you can make an Xyz monster with, like this guy. I think it's a generic rank 1. And at best, it also, on top of doing that, it negates a hand trap your opponent has. So, pretty scary card. Of course, it kind of sucks that it's just a one-off because it's limited. Otherwise, people would be playing 3, but yeah, really, really good card. And then, oh my god, just 1 Maxi. Oh, TCG players would rage. They would be like, bro, Maxi is the best card in the game. You have to play 3 if you can't play 3. And then Lancia, which, honestly, it makes sense to play 1 Lancia because you can search it. Playing 1 Maxi makes no sense when you're not playing Crossout Designator, so yeah. And then 3 Ash. See, that's the thing. You play Ash because you can negate Maxi, and this is something that I hate about the card. The fact that you have to play Ash even if you hate it just because it negates Maxi. It's funny how having Ash on your own turn matters. It's just more copies of Called by the Grave. I know I keep repeating myself, but still. And Pot of Prosperity, that doesn't really cog the deck too much. You're not really drawing outside of this guy. And yeah, that's basically it. Natasha, Herald of Ultimateness, and this is the really good card. I think it's the one that sends 2 cards your opponent controls in case you are cut off from your Cyber Angel engine. And apart from that, oh, he's siding the Vanity's Ruler, clever boy. So when you know for a fact you're going first, instead of having a brick on game 1, well, you can have that instead. And then, I guess, citing more hand traps, the 2 extra maxis, etc. But this guy knows what he's doing anyways. Like, he went freaking 10-1. So, I'm not gonna criticize him, you know? I'm just intrigued by his ratios. And, yeah. Anyways, Virtual World. Alright, is there anything interesting about this deck list? Usually it's always super boring. 3, 1, and 2, so this is the only kind of spice that people are doing, but people are never playing more than 1 2/2, that would be stupid, because it doesn't have the in-hand effect. Nyan Nyan is, I want to say, a bit better, but this card does allow you to play through Lancia, because it is the only card that your Virtual Worlds monsters can actually send from your deck to the graveyard that has an effect that doesn't need to banish itself from the graveyard, you know what I'm saying? And then apart from that, just 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, yeah, well, boring. I have seen this before. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I mean, what they're saying in this conclusion is exactly what I stated before. It's the fact that depending on where you are in the map, you know, in the OCG, people are not actually playing the same top tier deck. So it's either, like I said, Virtual World or Drytron, and then depending on that, people are kind of just using, they have different hand traps depending on what are the best decks. But one thing that has kind of been stapley, it was Zodiac being top tier, and also I'm just shocked to see Eldritch just randomly not as good. It's Shadow actually managed to beat Eldritch. Really interesting. Man, 4th best deck. They deserved it. I freaking love Shadow, best deck ever. I mean, I like Shadow way more than these decks, at least. Zodiac is cool, though, I'll give you that. But yes, that's all I had to say and showcase for this OCG metagame breakdown video. If you guys have any comments or feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe because it motivates me a lot to keep making videos like these. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace!